Hey guys, so this week we're talking about addiction that Gabriel made and connecting it to the distance between us and how we think that they go hand in hand with each other. First of all, I'm going to start off with obviously the father is an alcoholic. He has trouble and is uncomfortable with a lot of American ways, a lot of American philosophies and how to do things in America. Though he always pawns off the responsibilities that he has to do onto Mila, and she has to take care of the kids that aren't hers as well as her kids and supporting for them. But he's also addicted. He's an alcoholic, so he drains a lot of his uncomfortability away with drinking and takes it out on the kids a lot and says it's their fault. And I think that's because he's uncomfortable with this new way of life in the United States, or in El Otro Lado, as they say in the book. As well as I think he's trying to forget his past life and what had happened to him based on what happened with his mother and his sister stealing his dream house. And I think that also goes back to his first relationship with his original wife Juana. I think that a lot of his problems and uncomfortability with that comes from his past relationship with Juana and why and he's just uncomfortable with it, and he's trying to forget all those things that they did together that she threw away, whether they didn't have enough money to do this, do that, do something else. I think that's one of his reasons why he is an alcoholic, and it especially gets worse once he finds out what happens to his dream house and how his mother didn't sign over the deed to him. He signed it over to his sister, and I think that has a lot to do with his alcoholic addictions. One addiction, not necessarily an addiction, but in chapter 13, Reina says that she's addicted to reading, which I don't think is a terrible thing. I think that's actually very good in her case, because she really embraces the fact that she wants to read, she wants to learn. She takes the fact that her father says education is the key to life, and I think that's really important for someone in her shoes to educate herself, to become more familiar with what she's doing. I think that's really important, and I think it's a great thing that she's addicted to reading, as she says in chapter 13, like I just said. Another thing is, hold on, I gotta look it up in the books, on page 232, if I remember correctly. She says, by the end of the class, I created something that sounded like music. I loved playing instrument because it didn't matter whether I spoke perfect English or not. It didn't matter if I had a wetback accent. Reading music didn't require me to be fluent in any spoken language, and I didn't want to speak, just play. I think that's awesome that she is getting into music and becoming her own person through music, and learning how to play an instrument is really important, because music has no language. It is just a one universal language, whether you can play or not. I think that's awesome. As far as my own life encounters with addiction, one of my teammates, he's 28, he's on our football team. He went through a lot. He's a Division I player out of high school, went through drug addiction, with a lot of different drugs, overcame it all, and just seeing the person he is now and what trials and tribulations that he went through and the adversity that he faced and how he goes about daily life now is just incredible. Just to see how he attacks everyday life like it's a new fresh day, new fresh start. He's on his own fresh start here at Grand Valley. I think that's awesome, and I think addiction is a terrible thing, but if you are encountering addiction and you do go through it and you find a way to get over that fact, I think that's incredible, and I really admire the fact that he did that and what he's doing now to just better himself as a person, a football player, a teammate, a brother, a father. He's not a father, but if he were a father, he'd probably be a great one. Just every day he approaches life so positively, and I think that's because of the addiction that he did face. He came from a father and a mother who were alcoholics and drug addicts and were in and out of jail, so I really admire that fact about him, and that was my own encounter with addiction in life. Fortunate enough, I have not had it in my own family. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this week's TED Talk and the chapters in the book. Have a great week.